Hello, everybody. I'm sorry. I'll start off by saying that I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm going to sound a little bit different. And if my voice cracks, I'm very sorry. But I created this layout today, and I wanted to get the video up. So we went to the beach as a family yesterday, and I took some photos. And one of these photos that I took was of my daughter, and it turned out really cool. So I wanted to scrapbook it right away. And so I'm using a white background from Walmart. It is just plain 12 by 12. I got it in a pack and it was like $5. And I just love using that as my background paper. I just like a lot of white space. So, and then the rest of the papers are going to come from the, is it June? May? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. The Cake by the Ocean scraptastic kit. I think it was June's. I don't know. Anyways, so that's the kit that I'm using. So I went ahead and cut this kind of turquoisey teal paper in diagonal so that I could use that as part of my background. And that is by Pink Fresh Studio. It's life noted, and I believe it's called Pascal. Pascal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And then I matted the photo with that really pretty watercolor, and that is by Pink Paisley number 10. It is one of my favorite papers out of this entire kit. I love it. And then some of the die cuts that I'm using, that heart die cut and the acetate, come from the Pink Paisley Fancy Free, and the little arrow beneath it that I used so that the U would show really well. And then the black and white with the sunglasses I thought was really appropriate for this photo. That is a scraptastic exclusive die cut, as well as the You Are Pretty Cool. I'm pretty sure those were exclusive to that kit. And then this triangle that I'm putting up at the top, excuse me, I cut from some of the paper that was kind of I don't know if it would be like graphic phrases. It's just like phrase paper, and it's by Pink Fresh Studio, and it's called Happy Words, and it came in like on this sheet with a whole bunch of different words and different angles, and so I cut this triangle out from that. And the light minty bluish colored triangle underneath, I just kind of layered it as a shadow. And then this little, it's kind of a peachy pink tag piece also came from that sheet of paper, and it just says BU, and so I tucked it underneath to kind of make it look like a tab. And now I'm tucking some flowers around. That is a sheet of paper that I cut. I actually cut all of those watercolor flowers out, and that is Pink Paisley number 7. I just love those flowers so much that I didn't even want to use it on a piece of paper. I wanted to make sure and just kind of be able to scatter them around so none of them were covered up. I just love that paper. And I had done this on my first layout, and I actually saved some so I could use it as layers, but I loved it so much that I just decided to go ahead and cut it all up. I actually cut a lot of papers out of this kit up. I cut, I believe, 3 of them up to use, more like die cuts. So I'm going to place 4 of the flowers and the leaves just kind of around on the white triangle portion of my layout. And I'm not going to do too much more embellishing once I have that down. And I just kind of found, spots that just looked good to me, and I just kind of tossed them down. I wasn't really thinking too much about this layout. It just really came together really nicely, and I really love the way it turned out. I love the way that the florals look with the triangle paper diagonally across from it like that. Now, since this flower is a whole flower, I'm going to add 2 leaves, and that's going to be it. And then I'm going to put my journaling kind of right below that, so it looks really nice with my journaling nestled in underneath that flower. And when I had messed around with that little triangle happy paper up at the top, I kind of bent it. And so I wanted to cover it just a little bit. And one of these papers that I had, I believe it was from a cut apart, and it had little clouds on it and said never stop dreaming. So I'm going to go ahead and use that little phrase and just put it underneath the happy, and it kind of covers up where I had bent the paper. And I went ahead and kept the clouds also. I cut them, and I'm going to put them on another layout. And I'm trying to decide what it is that I want to place around for the rest of my embellishments. I really love the way that it already looks. I tried to use that capture, and I really liked the way it looked at the bottom of the photo, but I didn't want to take away from that photo at all, just because I loved the way that that photo turned out. So I went ahead and grabbed the thickers that came in the kit, and those are American Crafts Fancy, and I'm not going to use any of the words. I'm just going to use the little X's or plus signs, and I'm just going to use those in my 3 little clusters. I'm kind of creating a cluster at the end of You Are Pretty Cool. And then I'm going to go to my stash and I'm going to look through my enamel dots, and I found some that matched those kind of limey leaves, lime colored leaves, and it matched them perfectly. So I'm going to use 2 in each spot next to the plus sign or X or whatever that is, and make that my little cluster, and that is going to be about it as soon as I'm done adding my journaling. So for my journaling, I'm just going to create the lines underneath the flower, and I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. It just says, you are pretty cool. And I used that from the phrase. I really liked the way that that phrase had said that. So I start my journaling that way and I end my journaling that way. Oh, and I'm sorry. I added pop dots also to the corners to kind of lift them up. So the journaling says, you are pretty cool. You are a fun sister. You are a silly daughter. You love to talk. You love to laugh. You love playing with your family, even if you don't want to admit it. You are pretty cool. And so that's it. That's my journaling, and that's the layout. Stay tuned for some still photos, and thanks for watching. Bye.